Welcome to Driving Smarter and Going Further, where we give you real talk from the road to help you drive your best life. Now, today, I'm going to talk to you about thinking and acting like an entrepreneur as a driver, thinking and acting like a business owner as a driver. And you may be saying, hey, why should I care about this? Because I'm just an employee. And so I don't need to think and act like a business owner. Well, I really want to talk to two different types of people today. My name is Eric Chillian, and we have a driving school where we teach folks and certify them as commercial drivers. And we also have trucking businesses in the state of Washington and the state of Oregon, but really serve the whole country. And it's from that perspective that we bring this information to you about driving smarter and going further. And there's really two types of people that we see coming to our school. One says, hey, I want to be an owner operator. I want to run my own business, and I'm just getting my Class A license so I can jump right into business ownership. And the second type of person says, hey, I want to get my Class A license because it lets me do this job, and I just want to do that job and just be an employee. And in our school, we really encourage people, and also in our trucking business, to think about this maybe differently, regardless of which one of those two type of people you are. And I'm going to go into that in a little bit of detail. And the first person is the one who comes and says, I just want to get my Class A driver's license and I want to jump in and be an owner operator. And we strongly encourage that because we think that that's a great and profitable place to be. But we also strongly encourage prospective students to think about being a driver and an employee for a company for a period of time. Maybe that's 1 year, maybe that's 2 years, but you can figure out when you get to the point where you've learned enough and you're ready to go it alone as a business owner. Now, there's reasons that we do this and why we think you should go work for somebody else. And the first is because you get to learn on somebody else's dime. Mistakes that you make, you can work through those and make sure you don't make those as a business owner. You can begin to grow a safety record, and that's really important for expense control down the road. But really, the most important things are for you to learn and start making a habit advanced driving skills. The second thing is you start learning, where does value exist in the marketplace? Where are the high revenue runs and where are the ones that are going to drain you? And then you also begin to learn financial acumen. What are the things that you need to do to control expenses? And what are the things that really blow up expenses? And then the last thing, the fourth thing, is you start developing relationships and networks in the trucking industry. And those relationships are really going to serve you well. But you can practice developing those relationships again on somebody else's dime. So the first thing we say is, if you want to be an owner operator, great. And we're not telling you not to do that the day that you get your commercial driver's license. But we've seen a lot in this industry, and we've seen a lot of students come through this program. And we would strongly encourage you to go work for somebody else for a year or 2 years. And then once you've really figured those four things out, then it's time to go do it on your own. The second type of person is the person that says, look, I just want to be an employee. And therefore, they're going to tell me what I need to do. And all I need to do is drive safely down the road. And that's okay. And some people choose to do that. But again, we would strongly encourage this person that they can learn a lot, grow themselves, and really take care of themselves and those that they love better if they think and act like an entrepreneur or think and act like a business owner, even though they don't own that business themselves. And here's some reasons why we say that. The first thing is because someday you may decide that you want to run your own business. You may want to jump out as an entrepreneur. So build those skills to give yourself options down the road. The second thing is there's a lot of ups and downs in the trucking business. And when the trucking business was up, companies are looking for anybody to hire. They will take risk with people. They will bend over backwards for drivers. And in those times, you're totally fine when your mindset is to just be an employee. But when times get lean and tough, and again, this happens all the time in the trucking industry, companies start to lean out. They pick who are those ones that really help us? Who are those ones that bring us ideas? Who are those ones that are safe and control expense and help us get more revenue? And who are those that don't? And if and when we go into layoff processes, it's easy for us to let go of the ones who just want to be an employee. But for those who've been working with their employer as if they were the business owner themselves, are the ones that those employers say, we need to put our arms around this person and make sure they stay with us through these lean times. And that brings us to the last reason I would say, even if you're, again, I'm saying this, not that I think people are just employees, but if you have that mindset that I just come here to clock in and clock out, I would still encourage you to rethink that and change your mindset to be more of a driver who thinks and acts like a business owner. And the last reason is because you can get paid more. When you build trust with your employer because you're thinking about improving the things that they need to improve, you're thinking about how you hold on to revenue for the company, how you increase and grow revenue for the company, how you help control expenses for the company, how you're out there adding value with the people that you interact with, growing the networks for the company, growing positive relationships for the company. Those employers say, I want to put my arms around these people, especially when the trucking industry is going up. They're going to say, how do I pay you more to make sure you don't look for jobs in other places? So whether you're somebody who just thinks you want to become a Class A driver because you want to just be an employer for a company, or you want to jump out at some point and become an owner operator and maybe grow your own business, we strongly believe that you ought to change your mindset to one of an entrepreneur and a business owner to be more successful. Now, in videos that are to come and in our book, we really go into this in more detail, but I'm just going to give you 7 questions to think about. And I want you to think about what your answers are on these right now before you begin to read further or watch more videos. Because this is the way you're going to learn the most and start developing your own style and start developing what you think, your point of view on how you can add unique value to the trucking marketplace. The first thing is, and this is something I think is important in every walk of life, is do I settle for being average? And this is kind of the trouble that the person has who says, I just want to be unemployed. I just want to be like the guy to the left of me and the gal to the right of me. Because if I am, then I'll probably retain my job and I'll continue to make money. That's okay, but that's not the mindset of an entrepreneur and a business owner. You should not settle on being average. But the question is right now, be honest with yourself. Do you settle for being average? Question number 2, do I think like an entrepreneur? Do I think like a business owner? Challenge yourself to think about what that means to you right now, and we'll go into that in more detail. Do I know how to grow and diversify my revenue? First, do I even know what that means? And then second, how would I go about doing that? And doing that in a way that others haven't already done it. So 2, do I know how to grow and diversify my revenue? Number 4, do I practice building my risk-taking muscle? Any successful business owner will tell you that business is all about choices. And those choices are always positioned between opportunity and risk. And you really need to be able to think about how much opportunity and how sure is that thing I'm thinking about, and how much potential risk is out there if I do set out in that direction. And then I bring those two things together, and I have to develop a point of view that leads to action. Do I think that the opportunity outweighs the risk that may potentially come? And if my gut tells me and my analysis tells me yes, then I have the courage to take the next step to action. So, number 4, do I practice building my risk taking muscles? Do I practice business owner courage? Number 5, do I know how to track and control my expenses? Do I know what are the biggest expenses in the trucking industry? And do I know what are some actions I need to take to reduce those? Do I know how to look at an expense and say, I'm not sure what's going wrong here. I need to do an analysis or some research and figure out what I might do to reduce those expenses. So, do I know how to track and control my expenses? Number 6, do I think about myself as and present myself as a valuable brand? Now, you guys know Amazon, Coca Cola, Nike, those words have value. They're valuable brands. And that's not by accident. Those companies have deliberately cultivated value behind those brands themselves. So, do I know how to do that in the trucking industry? Do I know how to think about myself? And then in every interaction I have within a network or relationships that I have in the industry, do I present myself as a value brand and always be building value behind that brand? Ask yourself that question. And question number 7, and the last question, do I cultivate meaningful networks and relationships? Because this is significantly important for every business owner. Do I have networks that tell me about the risks that are right around the next corner so I don't have to experience them? Do I have relationships that I can lean on when I need them to tell me what are the best opportunities? How can I do this differently? So, last and 7th question that we'll uncover in the upcoming videos and in the book is, do I cultivate meaningful networks and relationships? So that's really it for today. I want you to remember that transformation in your life as a driver is born of a single idea and begins with taking action. Until our next video, be safe, drive smarter, go further.